As human beings, we come in different forms and sizes. Our structure is different from one another. But it is safe to say that humans cannot grow up to 20 feet. The story is that once we reach adulthood, we stop growing. And the only way that we grow after that is to be growing smaller due to old age. However, this is not the case with animals. We do not know if these creatures continue to grow for the rest of their lives. Well, stay tuned for the rest of the video, because we will find out how big animals can get and where we can find them. It is amazing that nature unfolds the way it was meant to be. Every evolution is based on a million DNA mutations that happen on one single species. In the first corner, weighing up to 600 kilograms and standing 4 meters tall, is the African elephant. It was tagged as the largest land animal that we can find today. If it would be compared to an average human being, an average human stands at 1.6 meters tall and weighs up to 62 kilograms. If closely moved to each other, the human stands as tall as half of its limb. But if the titan is to be a part of the comparison, the African elephant could not compare, for it would be a tiny creature compared to this colossal being that once roamed the planet. Next, this creature, although smaller than the African elephant, can be unsettling to see if placed next to a human being. The Anthropornis. This creature that lived once in the history of the Earth and the largest kind of penguin to ever exist, stood at 1.8 meters tall and weighed 90 kilograms. Just imagine how cute and at the same time how terrifying this creature could waddle beside a man. Most of the creatures that exist today have way bigger and scarier ancestors that once stepped on our planet. We are one lucky species because we live in an era that they don't exist anymore. Take this example. Picture every rodent that you have ever seen in your life and compare it to its ancestor, the Josephoartigacha monesi. This unsettling creature grew up to 3 meters in length, stood up to 1.5 meters tall, and weighed up to 1 ton. If we are about to compare the size of this colossal rodent, its size is just as big as a Toyota Corolla Altis. You may think that this humongous rodent is terrifying, but have you remembered about the giant reptile that was once called Titanoboa? It is a gigantic snake that lived way back in our ancient times, millions of years ago, and once lived in South America. This giant snake can grow up to 12.8 meters long and can weigh up to 1,135 kilograms. If this snake is to consume one human being, it'll do so in just one gulp. If you ask me, we're pretty lucky that this snake does not exist anymore. Moving on, the largest arachnid to walk the earth was called Pulmonoscorpius. It is an ancient scorpion that has measured 70 centimeters long. Imagine seeing a pack of these walking in your sight. What a terrifying day it would be, right? Speaking of terrifying, this creature was known to be the largest crocodile to ever exist on our planet, the Sarcosuchus. It was known to have measured in length of 12 meters and weighed a booming 8 tons. It would take almost 7 Toyota Corolla Altis to really measure its weight. Although considered frightening, this carnivore is a lot smaller than the largest carnivore that has ever existed. When thinking about the largest carnivore, the Tyrannosaurus Rex secures the #1 spot. But this spot really belonged to the Spinosaurus. This kind of dinosaur measures up to 15 meters long and weighs up to 21 tons. So while this creature holds the title of the largest carnivore that has ever existed in our history, it is not the largest land creature. The distinction has to go to the other type of dinosaur, the Titanosaur. Measurements that were taken from its confirmed fossil revealed that this creature measured a very impressive length of 37 meters and has weighed almost 70 tons. This is the equivalent of 12 grown African elephants weighed together. Compared to humans, the size of this species was truly epic. According to scientists, the size of this creature was the maximum size of any living thing that biology can allow to exist on Earth. How cool is that? The explanation was simple as this. If you consider any living thing on Earth and you somehow increase its size, its mass would also increase by a power of 3. In addition, the width of that creature, considering its muscle and bone, would also increase by a power of 2. In conclusion, The larger a creature is, the more mass it would need for its bones to support its whole structure. Because of this found law and the effect of gravity on living things on Earth, it is extremely doubtful that there is a land creature that existed on Earth that weighed more than 100 tons. On the contrary, the ocean plays by a different set of equations. The impact of size of a living creature on its body is not affected in the ocean due to the buoyancy of the water. Unlike the creatures that travel the Earth by land, the creatures that have swum in our oceans do not need to maintain their weight to be able to prop up properly. This is where the colossal blue whale comes in, which weighs up to 181 tons, the largest water creature to have ever existed. But this big Orion is unlikely to come close to the largest water creature ever known by man. The problem of these living creatures in the ocean is not gravity anymore, but is its survival, their food and energy consumption in particular. These creatures, in order for them to survive, need to consume a total of 3,600 kilograms of their favorite food, krill, every single day. That amount of krill is equivalent to almost 17,000 Big Macs. And for just one whale, anything larger than that would mean it should consume a much greater amount of food in order for them to survive. The larger the creature, the greater amount of food it needs to consume in order to support its living. Other creatures that existed are much larger than this blue whale, in another topic to be discussed over another video. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing scientific facts. Thank you for watching.